According to the National Electrical Code, or NEC, a receptacle outlet must be installed in any kitchen, dining room, living room, bedroom, family room, or other habitable room where a permanently installed piece of millwork, such as a bookcase or cabinets, is more than 12 feet long. This requirement is detailed in NEC section 406.6. D. The NEC does not specify whether the receptacle should be exposed or located behind a door. Therefore, the receptacle can be either exposed or located behind a door. As long as it is accessible, the receptacle can be installed within the back wall of the cabinet. The code does not require the receptacle to be at the front surface of the millwork. However, it is recommended to place the receptacle in an accessible location for easy use. To summarize, firstly, a receptacle is required if the millwork is more than 12 feet long in habitable rooms. Secondly, the receptacle can be exposed or behind a door. Thirdly, the receptacle can be in the back wall if accessible. Fourthly, front surface mounting is not mandatory but recommended for accessibility. When planning electrical installations involving millwork, always consult the latest edition of the NEC and local amendments. It's also wise to consult with a qualified electrician to ensure compliance with all applicable codes and regulations. Receptacle placement within millwork requires careful consideration of accessibility and usability. While the NEC provides minimum requirements, practical considerations often dictate the best location for the receptacle. Installing the receptacle at the front surface of the millwork offers the easiest access for users, but it may not always be aesthetically desirable. Placing the receptacle behind a door or within the back wall of the cabinet can conceal it from view, but it's crucial to ensure that the receptacle remains easily accessible for plugging in appliances or devices. Accessibility is a key factor to consider when determining the location of the receptacle. The NEC emphasizes the importance of accessible outlets to prevent the use of extension cords and other unsafe wiring practices. When the receptacle is located behind a door or within the back wall of the cabinet, it should be readily accessible without requiring excessive effort or the removal of multiple objects. The location of the receptacle should also take into account the intended use of the millwork. For example, if the millwork is designed to house electronic equipment, such as a television or stereo system, it may be necessary to install multiple receptacles to accommodate the power cords of all the devices. In such cases, it's important to ensure that the receptacles are properly spaced and located to prevent overcrowding and potential fire hazard. When installing receptacles within millwork, it's essential to follow all applicable safety precautions. Turn off the power to the circuit before working on any electrical wiring. Use appropriate tools and materials for the job. Properly ground the receptacle to prevent electrical shock. Clearly label the circuit breaker that controls the receptacle. If you're not comfortable working with electrical wiring, hire a qualified electrician to perform the installation. Failure to follow proper safety precautions can result in serious injury or even death. In addition to the NEC requirements, local building codes may also have specific regulations regarding receptacle placement within millwork. It's important to check with your local building department to ensure that your installation complies with all applicable codes. Local codes may specify additional requirements, such as the minimum height of the receptacle above the floor or the maximum distance between receptacles. Failure to comply with local codes can result in fines or other penalties. It is also important to consider the type of receptacle being installed. Standard 15-amp receptacles are suitable for most general-purpose applications, but higher amperage receptacles may be required for certain appliances or devices. The receptacle should be rated to handle the maximum current draw of the devices that will be plugged into it. Using an undersized receptacle can create a fire hazard. Ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFCI, receptacles are required in certain locations, such as kitchens and bathrooms, where there is a high risk of electrical shock. GFCI receptacles are designed to detect ground faults and quickly shut off the power to the circuit, preventing serious injury. When installing receptacles within millwork in these locations, it's essential to use GFCI receptacles. Arc fault circuit interrupter, or FSI, protection is also required for certain circuits, such as those serving bedrooms. SI circuit breakers are designed to detect arc faults, which can be a leading cause of electrical fires. When installing receptacles within millwork on circuits that require SI protection, it's essential to use SI circuit breakers. Proper wiring techniques are crucial for ensuring the safety and reliability of the electrical installation. All wiring connections should be made inside approved electrical boxes. The wires should be properly sized for the circuit and securely connected to the receptacle terminals. The electrical box should be securely mounted to the millwork. Using proper wiring techniques can help prevent electrical problems and ensure the long-term performance of the electrical system. The NEC also addresses the use of flexible cords and extension cords. In general, the NEC discourages the use of flexible cords and extension cords as a substitute for permanent wiring. However, flexible cords are permitted for connecting portable appliances and devices to receptacles. When using flexible cords, it's important to ensure that they are properly sized for the load and that they are not damaged or frayed. Extension cords should only be used on a temporary basis and should not be run under rugs or furniture, where they can be damaged and create a fire hazard. Surge protection is another important consideration for electrical installations involving millwork. Surge protectors are designed to protect electronic equipment from voltage spikes, which can be caused by lightning strikes, power outages, or other electrical disturbances. Surge protectors can be installed at the service entrance or at individual receptacles. When installing surge protectors, it's important to choose models that are rated for the voltage and current of the circuit. The placement of electrical components within millwork can also affect the overall aesthetics of the installation. Consider using recessed receptacles or other types of receptacles that are designed to blend in with the surrounding decor. Concealing the wiring and other electrical components can also improve the appearance of the installation. When planning the electrical installation, it's important to work closely with the millwork designer or installer to ensure that the electrical components are properly integrated into the overall design. The NEC also addresses the use of low-voltage lighting systems. Low-voltage lighting systems are often used in millwork to provide accent lighting or task lighting. Low-voltage lighting systems operate at a lower voltage than standard lighting systems, which makes them safer to install and operate. When installing low-voltage lighting systems, it's important to follow all applicable safety precautions and to use approved wiring methods. The NEC also covers the installation of communications wiring, such as telephone and data cables. Communications wiring should be kept separate from electrical wiring to prevent interference and to reduce the risk of electrical shock. When installing communications wiring, it's important to follow all applicable safety precautions and to use approved wiring methods. Proper grounding is essential for all electrical installations. Grounding provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source, which helps to protect against electrical shock. All electrical equipment and wiring should be properly grounded in accordance with the NEC. Grounding electrodes, such as ground rods or water pipes, should be properly installed and connected to the electrical system. Regular inspections and maintenance are crucial for ensuring the safety and reliability of electrical installations. Electrical systems should be inspected periodically by a qualified electrician to identify any potential problems. Maintenance tasks, such as tightening connections and replacing worn components, should be performed on a regular basis. Proper inspection and maintenance can help prevent electrical problems and ensure the long-term performance of the electrical system. Finally, it is very important to consider future needs. When planning an electrical installation, it's important to consider the potential for future expansion or modification. Provide extra capacity in the electrical system to accommodate future needs. Install additional conduits or wiring pathways to allow for future wiring upgrades. Planning for future needs can save time and money in the long run.